Ted Cruz got a very important endorsement today from one of the guys on Duck Dynasty.
Oh.
If that's not ridiculous enough that is his big get for the week, they produced a campaign ad together. Let's watch.
My qualifications for President of the United States are rather narrow. Is he or she godly? Does he or she love us? Can he or she do the job? And finally, would they kill a duck and put him in a pot and make him a good duck gumbo? I've looked at the candidates. Ted Cruz is my man. He fits the bill. He's godly. He loves us. He's the man for the job, and he will go duck hunting because today we're going. Ted Cruz is my man. I'm voting for him. Cruz, the reason we're going to vote for you, all of us, is because you're one of us, my man. That's why we're voting for you. It's now or never.
What is wrong with our country? My qualifications are narrow.
If I was,
Is he godly?
it's weird because like you would think
Does
like
he love me?
that should be Jeb's attack ad.
He makes that
you would
about
think
Ted
that about
Cruz?
Ted. Look at who he's fucking hey.
Oh, God, it's so weird.
That's their leader. The most ignorant guy around who lives in the bush.
He lives in the bush. Well, from what I've heard, and I don't know for sure, they started this business making their Duck Blaster 3000, and they became rich. And then all of this stuff about the Beards and God and their family.
It's all made up.
It's made up.
Yes.
Which makes him the smartest person in the Republican Party, I think.
Well,
it makes him a Republican politician. You get super rich, don't give a fuck about these people, then pretend that all the things that are important to them are important to you as well. Ted Cruz, man, I want you to see this picture. He's hunting ducks. He's not in Vietnam.
he's hunting ducks.
He's hunting a fucking duck. And he's made up like Predator could be attacking him any second. Like he expects those 3 red dots on his shoulder. It's a duck. And it's hundreds of yards away, and you've got a shotgun, you scared little weenie. How is this not the image that destroys his candidacy? It's like he's looking up like, man, cruise missiles could come in any second. B-52s could be on the horizon. It's a duck. And they put in that boom, boom, twice. Just in case you forgot, the purpose of this is we fucked up a bird today. They threw in an extra one.
We shot some birds.
We shot a bird. It's not like...
And they have to hide
If they were hunting velociraptors, fine. Put on the Predator and all that stuff, and you could have an Uzi.
The duck is not threatening to kill you.
Has a duck ever killed a person?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't even... Like, when we're mocking Phil Robertson or whatever, I don't even have a problem with him. This is just for publicity for him, whatever. He's got his stupid thing about his NERA qualifications, which, by the way, mean absolutely nothing. Is he godly? Does he love us? Can he do the job? Is he godly? Man, if I wanted to, I could put on a production. By next year, you'd think I was the most born-again motherfucking person in this country. It doesn't mean anything. I think Cruz is authentic, but it doesn't mean anything. Does he love us? What does that even mean? I don't know what that means. Is he the man for the job? When you say yes to that, all you're saying is I support him because I support him. And those are his 3 qualifications. Look at him.
His 3 qualifications. And what he really should say is.
Oh, and the duck thing, the gumbo.
Is he willing to be a phony about God? Is he a religious phony?
Yeah.
Does he hate who we hate?
Yeah.
And does he deny science?
Exactly. If he does all of those things,
he's one of us.
And if he will mess up a duck. Did you see him make the gumbo? Because I noticed that dropped off between your first part of the video and the second part of the video.
And it just makes, to me, that makes Cruz look weak. It's like, please like me, please like me, please.
I'll put on whatever costume you want.
One of us, but thank you. You're gonna vote for me? Thank you. You're one of us. Thank you.
And the way he does it, it's like it's the Pope. It's like, tell me that we're one of us.
You're one of us.
That's what he did. It's like, dude, it's not the Pope. It's not the Dalai Lama, who I understand they would not want the endorsement of. He's like, thank you, Your Highness. He's a fucking duck man.
And what is all the, here's what I don't, it's the Republic, like John McCain had that commercial And build a dang fence. And then that sheriff turns to him and goes, "You're one of us." So this whole thing of "you're one of us," it's that you're real. Are you willing to say dumb things and do dumb things? Are you willing to put black shoe polish on your face and pretend that ducks can see your face?
You have to be willing to put that on and hate anyone who naturally looks like that. Yeah. Those two qualify. It's Nera. Look at him looking up there. It's a bird.
You know what?
It's a bird.
So this is such a funny video. I have to say that Ted Cruz, blackface comedy is really offensive.
It's offensive.
It's like, look at these guys with the black shit on their fucking face. He's got a white beard.
It's like the Viet Cong are not coming out. And look, I wanted it to be Duck Cunt. I wanted that to be the master because, like, seriously, man, this is politics. It would be like if Bernie got an endorsement from Kim Kardashian. And she's like, "You just wasted a bunch of money on clothing that ain't really worth a damn. You're one of us." And then he looks up at Versace. We thought this was funny. Cruise Commander. It's a duck. You're not in the military. It's a duck. It's not the Air Force just because it flies.
You guys might as well be out shooting squirrels.
Yeah. And by the way, so we've talked about two. So in this one, he proves he can make a gumbo. In a previous ad, he was proving that he can cook bacon. I don't know if he's trying to become the president or the new host of Chopped. I don't know for sure. I don't think he's qualified for either.